The wildest one I saw was on a rooftop Sangeet in Jaipur. Lights everywhere, drums going crazy, air full of cardamom, and fireworks smoke. Overconfident dad shows up in a blinding white golf polo and khaki shorts, chest out like he's hosting the whole wedding. He squints at the bride's sister's lehenga and goes, "So wait, if the bride wears red, white is open season for everyone else, right?" The music literally stutters because the DJ flinches and three aunties inhale like one shared dragon. The groom's cousin politely escorts him back toward the stairs, whispering something about not competing with the ancestors tonight, sir. Yeah. When the aunties gasp in unison, you just failed the dress code audit, bro. A photographer in Kyoto told me about this one during a break between Shinto ceremonies. He's lining up this perfect shot of the bride in a white kimono under the shrine torii, everything calm and cinematic. Then Wellness Karen glides in, wearing a head-to-toe hot pink yoga set and a floppy straw hat, sighing, "I thought traditional means like spiritually comfortable, so lycra counts, right?" Everyone freezes except the shrine maiden, who glides over with the politest death stare I've ever heard described. They hand Karen an emergency kimono jacket and gently rotate her out of frame like she's a traffic cone. Somewhere in that moment, the gods learned what athleisure was and immediately regretted it. I heard this one from a DJ at a Lake Como villa. All marble stairs and roses. He says, "College bro stumbled in late to an Italian wedding, wearing a black hoodie with the university logo and neon sneakers, holding his tie in his fist like it attacked him. Bro leans toward the nonna in lace and whispers, 'So, is this like a funeral vibe or a party vibe?' The nonna just stares, crosses herself, and points silently at his unlaced shoes. The bride's brother drags him outside and physically teaches him how to wear a tie like it's a hostage negotiation. Some dress codes are written, and some are just carved into the nonna's disappointed soul. I was at a beach wedding in Tulum once, candles everywhere, flowers in the sand, super soft waves. The groom's cousin had hired this American business consultant as a destination wedding planner for his own big day. So she came to benchmark the event. She shows up in a beige blazer and pencil skirt, clutching a tablet, saying, "If we standardize dress codes across cultures, we could save so much time globally." The bride's mom just blinks, barefoot in her flowy dress, and offers her a woven shawl instead of a spreadsheet. Later, the consultant complains that sarongs aren't scalable infrastructure. Nothing says romance like trying to Six Sigma somebody's wedding outfit, man. Up in a tiny Norwegian village by a fjord, I watched a ceremony outside this wooden stave church. There's fog, mountains, people in bunads looking like they walked out of a folktale and straight into Pinterest. Then loud Texas guy rolls up in a bolo tie, cowboy boots, and a massive 10-gallon hat announcing, "I wore my national costume too, y'all. We're basically neighbors." The local grandma gently taps his hat brim and goes, in perfect English, that hats don't belong inside the church, or that big anywhere, really. He spends the rest of the ceremony holding it like a misbehaving toddler. Bro accidentally turned his hat into the most controversial guest at the wedding. My favorite Santorini story came from a bartender who works near one of those clifftop chapels. A retired rich couple arrives for a Greek island wedding, both wearing pure white linen from head to toe, matching like a cruise brochure. The husband leans over to the priest and whispers, "So, if we all wear white, the drone shots look more premium, yes?" The priest just stares at the very confused bride, who is also in white, like a boss fight just spawned. A bridesmaid gently explains that in this story, the bride is the main character, not his lifestyle brand. There's always that one guy who thinks the dress code is a product launch. In a little temple hall in Chiang Mai, I watched a Thai Lana ceremony with gold cushions and incense everywhere. A TikTok travel expert came in wearing a tiny crop top and low-rise silk pants, ring light wobbling, whispering to her phone, apparently orange is like the monk color, so I wore it to match the aesthetic. A monk's assistant quietly hands her a shawl and points at a sign showing modest dress, smiling so hard it might crack. She wraps up like a human burrito and still tries to record transitions while hiding her shoulders. Influencing the algorithm is one thing. Influencing the monk's patience is a whole different dress code. In Marrakech, in a Riyadh courtyard with mosaic tiles and lanterns, I heard a wild one from the local planner. A cruise tourist waddles in late to a Moroccan wedding reception wearing a Hawaiian shirt covered in cartoon flamingos and board shorts. He claps his hands and asks, "So where's the belly dancer, and do we tip her in dollars?" The entire courtyard goes dead quiet, like the fountain even stopped running to judge him. The groom's uncle gently redirects him to a chair, hands him a proper jacket, and explains this is a family celebration, not a cruise theme night. Sometimes the loudest part of the outfit is the assumption that came with it. A Korean friend told me about a hanbok ceremony in a Hanok village in Seoul, lanterns glowing in the courtyard. Backpack Bro shows up wearing a budget kilt he bought online, hiking boots, and a t-shirt that says "Culture is my jam." He bows awkwardly and asks the bride's grandmother, "So this is like your version of what I'm doing, right?" She just tilts her head, looks at his suspicious plaid, and then at the groom's elegant hanbok like she's judging two different timelines. The groom rescues him with a spare blazer and a quiet, maybe just wear pants next time. If the grandma can't identify your outfit category, you probably shouldn't have worn it. In Lagos, under a massive white tent glowing with fairy lights, I watched a Nigerian wedding that was pure color chaos in the best way. A bargain hunter American couple walks in wearing cheap knockoff ASO OK sets they bought from a street vendor, tags still dangling like price receipts of shame. The woman squints at the sea of coordinated family fabrics and goes, "Wait, so we were supposed to match a specific group?" The bride's aunt laughs, hugs them, and explains the idea of ASO Ebi, then calmly snips off the dangling tags mid-conversation. The only real dress code violation was treating culture like a clearance rack. At a vineyard wedding in New Zealand, under this ridiculous golden sky, we had rows of guests in soft neutrals and floral dresses. Florida man variant strolls in wearing a sleeveless gun show tank top, camo shorts, and flip-flops, complaining, "It's outside, man, nature doesn't care." 5 minutes later, the breeze turns sideways, temperature drops, and it starts raining like the sky personally disagreed. He ends up wrapped in a floral shawl borrowed from the groom's aunt, socks pulled over his flip-flops. Sometimes the dress code doesn't punish you, the weather volunteers as tribute. On the Bosphorus in Istanbul, I heard this from a makeup artist during a waterfront wedding, lights reflecting on the water. Patriot Uncle shows up in a full American flag blazer and matching bow tie, loudly asking, "Where do I stand so everyone knows the guests of honor arrived?" The bride's Turkish grandfather just smiles, adjusts his own simple suit, and gently moves the uncle out of every photo like he's a roaming banner ad. Later, the old man tells the groom, "In our weddings, the loudest color is love, not a flag." When the grandpa outdresses you with a plain suit, the blazer was never the point. In a Scottish Highlands castle hall, stone walls and candlelight everywhere, I watched a joint Scottish-American wedding. Overconfident complainer dad from the US starts ranting at the best man. Back home, nobody tells me what color tie I can wear. This Navy rule is tyrannical. The Scottish side just quietly gestures at the dress code card, printed weeks ago. saying it helps the photos look timeless. The groom's sister leans over and whispers, "We survived hundreds of years of history. You can survive a Thai guideline. If your biggest rebellion is against a color palette, bro, you're doing fine." In Hanoi Old Quarter, down a narrow alley strung with light bulbs, I saw a Vietnamese family wedding that felt like a movie. A first-time traveler from the States shows up in a full black suit and black shirt, no tie, sweating buckets, asking, "All the aunties are in bright colors. Did I miss a memo?" The bride's cousin laughs and explains that weddings here lean red, gold, and joy, not funeral chic. They shove him into a tiny shop and swap his shirt for a light pink one that somehow fits. One shirt change later. He looks less like he's attending a crime drama and more like a celebration. Last one came from Rio in a samba club where a couple decided to combine wedding and street party. Minimalist adventurer walks in wearing a plain gray t-shirt, dark jeans, and simple sneakers, holding a tiny backpack like emotional support. He looks around at sequins, feathers, bright suits, and asks, "Is there like a neutral option for all this?" The groom's cousin grins, hands him a glittery green jacket, and says, "Neutral is for every day. This is the start of someone's forever." Sometimes the real dress code is just don't show up to joy dressed like a Tuesday.